Hey, what's up, guys? Jesse Rush with Flingot Bows, and I want to show you guys something here. I'm watching the clock, and I'm steam bending a mulberry bow. Getting the bend out of one of the limbs for my Allergic hobbit bow that I'm building for a buddy, Allergic hobbit. Anyway, I started the steam here at 9:15, and I'm gonna let it go all the way to here, steaming. This is my steam setup. It's nothing major. Just got the bow. There's some garlic bread and some sketty. I got the bow propped up on the coffee maker, and it's just steaming over a boiling, steaming pot of water, basically. And I got something over it, a lid, to just keep the steam kind of focused on where I want to bend. Let's show you this real quick. Sorry about my kids going crazy, but you can see that really bad bend. Guys, stop. You can see the bend that I'm trying to get out of it right there. And so what I'm doing is I'm just gonna leave it in here for another 20 minutes or so, steaming, and just keep it covered to try to make the steam, although it's not going to be airtight. It's going to just kind of keep the steam around that area more for longer. And 30 minutes should be long enough. And when I'm done with it steaming, I'm going to take it out here, outside. You may not be able to see very well out here, but I've got my, I've got a shaving horse out here. You can't really see it, but it's right here. And I've got my clamp. And I've got another clamp over here, a C-clamp, and I've got it where I can wedge it up against this wall of the shaving horse. There's a flat board right here where my hand is, and then a piece for the bow to sit on. See this edge right here? Right here. Anyway, it's the same thing on this side. In the dark, you can't see it, but I'm gonna. I guess I can show you on the lit up side. I'm gonna set the bow right here. And it's going to lean on out to here. This flat piece up against the side here is going to keep the bow from flipping over. And I've already put the clamp on it, clamped it down, and bent it a little bit just to make sure that it wasn't going to move, because the last thing you want to do is get over there with a nice steamed piece of wood and you know, everything doesn't work and you got to re-steam it. So let me talk to you a little bit about steaming. A lot of people say don't steam. The reason that I steam, or the reason that I'm steaming this piece of wood, typically I don't steam seasoned wood unless it's thick. Like just to recurve tips and stuff like that, I'll use dry heat. I rub a little cooking oil on it and heat it up over the stove, or use a heat gun or even a heat lamp. A fire even works. And just heat it up, and then just bend it over my form, or to make my recurve tips. But which I'm not going to recurve. I may recurve these tips, but not very much. It's a very short bow. It's going to have a lot of stored energy as it is, just because how short it is. But with a thick limb like that, those limbs are still like this thick. They still need to be worked down a lot. And the way that I'm bending it is I'm bending an area that's this thick that way. I'm not bending the thin way like you would a recurve. I'm bending it the wide way, so there's a lot of wood to move. And steam is the safest way to do that. The only problem with steam bending is that you've got to let it dry out inside your house. Once you're done steaming it and you let it sit till it's totally cool, like probably overnight, on the vise, the clamp that I've built, then I'm going to have to bring it inside and sit it inside in the air-conditioned house for probably 3 weeks and not touch it. At least 2 weeks. And that kind of sucks, because it's 2 weeks that you can't work on the bow. But work's picked up quite a bit for me lately, and I'm doing a lot of remodel work right now and stuff, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to really mess with the bow. I've got some serious hunting trips coming up. I'm going up to North Florida to go deer hunting and stuff, so I don't have the time to mess with it right now anyway a lot, so I'm going to utilize all my time perfectly, and I'm going to get my steam bending done now. and get that bow straightened out. And then I'm gonna, when I get done with my hunting in the next week or two, I could probably start messing with it, taking some weight off of it and stuff. Well, not taking weight off, but getting it down to bending. It's just starting to bend a tiny bit on the floor tiller. So once I steam it, straighten it, and then I'll recurve the tips. You know, not much. Like the last 6 inches are just gonna have a slight recurve, nothing major. And then, but I can do that with dry heat and some oil. And the cool thing about dry heat is that you don't have to wait 3 weeks. Once that's all finished up, then I can start removing some meat and getting it down to where we can start tillering it. Also, dry heating it may help it dry out a little bit, especially on the side that's been steamed. But anyway, just wanted to go over that. My steaming method's really easy, real simple, no pressure steaming, no crazy stuff like that. Just 25-30 minutes over a pot of boiling water with some kind of lid over it, you know, to just keep the steam contained. And that's about it. Pretty simple setup. There's the bow. One more time, we'll pop this sucker off of here. It's getting pretty hot now. And there it is. And that's it. I mean, that's it. Steaming is the safest way to bend wood. But you gotta wait until it dries back out. It tends to dry out quicker than it did when it's seasoned, and it doesn't check as bad or split or anything when you steam it. It seems to be pretty safe to do it that way. So yeah, anyway, that's my method of steaming, or my method of heat bending a thick limb. Thinner limbs, tips, stuff like that, you can just heat bend it. You could heat bend this too, but you wouldn't get as much of a bend out of it, and it's kind of dangerous. I could break the bow. And I've put a lot of work in this, all the way from harvesting the stave, cutting it out of the tree, bringing it home, splitting it, letting it season. I've already glued a really nice piece of Pacific yew wood on for the handle, and I've really taken my time with this, and I want this bow to come out pristine. You know, if it was just a bow for me, I may not work as hard on it and just make it to where it's really functional. All my bows shoot great, but some of them aren't the prettiest bows. But I kind of want to make this bow look nice, because I've seen some of the arrows and stuff and arrowheads that Allergic Hobbit makes, and it's pretty awesome, you know, pretty nice, pretty stuff. And I know he makes like war bows and stuff. He made a really cool juniper bow, a self bow made of juniper wood. Sorry about that, my battery's dying. He made a self bow of juniper wood that's not backed with sinew, which is like really hard to do. Juniper pretty much has to be backed. So it's a pretty amazing feat that you make a 70-pound bow out of juniper. Pat, pretty awesome. Anyway, that's it. Yep, that's it.